So welcome contractors and realtors. Great turnout tonight. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy evening to learn more about the new home efficiency rebate program that was launched early this year. So before we dive in, we would like to formally introduce ourselves. My name is Lisa Trong. I am the Energy Programs Manager at Reep Green Solution. And with me tonight is my colleague, Sydney Hennessy. She's our Energy Programs Coordinator. And we are co-delivering this session with Moses, Energy Program Coordinator at Green Venture. So we like to start with a territorial acknowledgement. So Reep Green Solution and Green Venture are located in Kitchener and Hamilton and located on the traditional territory of Indigenous people, including the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Nusho people. We recognize the enduring presence of the Indigenous people with whom we share this land today and their contribution and achievements to our community. We value their traditional knowledge about how to live sustainably on this land that we share and leave for our future generations. So for tonight's outline, you will learn about who we are, why are we doing this, everything you need to know about the HER Plus program, and many resources and opportunities how to help homeowners lower their energy costs and make their homes comfortable, affordable, and sustainable year-round. So a little bit about ourselves. We are part of Green Communities Canada. They are the licensed Natural Resource Canada and use the EnerGuide rating system, so Canada's system to rate home energy consumption and provide recommendation custom for the home. So they were the first and longest serving licensed EnerGuide provider. And in the orange circle are all the members of the Green Communities Canada from Thunder Bay all the way to Kingston. And we are local service organizations with registered energy advisors that will provide advice and support homeowners through their energy saving journey. And Reep is one of their members since 2005. We're located in Kitchener, Ontario. We're serving Waterloo region, Guelph, and surrounding areas. And we are an environmental charity that has been helping people live sustainably for over 20 years now. And our main program focuses on energy efficiency, and we've been conducting over 27,000 energy evaluations since then. And I'll pass it over to Moses.
Thank you, Lisa, for that introduction. So Green Venture has been doing EnerGuide evaluations for about 20 years now, and our objective is to empower Hamilton residents to implement greener practices in their homes and communities every day to make our city a climate champion. And how do we strive towards our mission? We have three overarching strategic objectives. One, to reduce climate vulnerability and impacts on our community. Two, to help Hamiltonians make their day-to-day lives greener to reduce emissions. And three, to educate and empower youth. Green Venture operates out of Eco House, which is a 175-year-old historic farmhouse with 2 acres of gardens in East Hamilton. Among other initiatives, Green Venture helped introduce blue bins, community gardens, rain barrels, and bike sharing into Hamilton. Originally envisioned as an environmentalism umbrella group formed by the region of Hamilton Wentworth in 1994, it has evolved and grown alongside the city for the past 27 years, solidifying into the multifaceted, community-minded organization that it is today. And the programs that we work with center one around community greening, so deep paves, rain gardens, tree equity and stewardship, and two, community gardening, so community gardenings, seed libraries, and grow a row, and also our education program. So we provide in-class workshops, community events, and other mentorship opportunities for students. And then, of course, our energy program that focuses on home energy conservation upgrades and rebates to lower emissions and to lower our clients' energy bills every month. Last year, we performed about 314 pre and post retrofit audits.
Thanks, Moses. So why should we care? On the larger scale, in 2015, Canada and 194 other countries, they reached Paris Agreement. It's an ambitious and balanced agreement to fight climate change. And the new agreement will strengthen the efforts to limit the global average temperature rise to well below 2 degrees and pursue efforts to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees. To ensure we achieve that goal, our community is working together to reduce 80% greenhouse gas emission based on 2010 levels by 2050. The Transform WR strategy outlines our community's pathway to transition to an equitable, prosperous, resilient, low carbon community, and identifies actions that we need to take to reaching those goals. Home retrofits are essential to achieving these goals, as 18% of emissions are from residential buildings.
And so for the Hamilton context, as I mentioned, our energy program aims to reduce energy consumption and emissions at home. And why? You can see here that the biggest chunk of emissions in the GTHA comes from the building sector, which is about 44.6% of annual emissions in Hamilton. So, how do we do this? We deliver our energy assessments and rebate programs. We provide this as a service for, service and social enterprise to reduce our community carbon emissions and drive climate action, which helps to financially sustain the organization to grow and reach even more people and create even more of an impact. Right now, we are currently working with the Home Efficiency Rebate Plus program, which is co-delivered by Enbridge Gas and the federal government to support the transition to net zero buildings. So as I mentioned before, Green Venture has worked for over 20 years with NRCan registered energy advisors to conduct these energy evaluations. And in 2023, we have, in 2022, we delivered a turnkey program called Winter Proofing to income verified homeowners, which is a retrofit program to support equitable energy transition with other additional programs as well. And so getting right into it here, what is an energy assessment? So the first step to participating in a rebate program is, of course, to schedule an assessment with either Green Venture or Reep. And I will say that Green Venture also works from the Niagara region to Oakville, so all the municipalities sort of in between there. So we have quite a broad reach. We have about 5 energy advisors and are, very, very busy with our scheduling and are still accepting new participants. We do have about 3 to 4 weeks of a wait list if you call today. But yeah, so the first step is really scheduling that with us. And it really helps you as a homeowner understand how the house uses energy, and it identifies upgrades to improve that energy efficiency. So it doesn't really measure, what you're keeping your temperature at every night or anything like that. It's an objective kind of measurement of the way the house uses energy, where the leaks are happening, all that sort of thing. So as you can see here, we measure insulation levels. That's measured through either building codes at the time of construction, or if the advisor can actually look at the insulation, they could see the R value or the resistance value to heat. For the insulation, windows and doors, we use a low E detector to measure thermal performance. And then the advisors will also measure space heating and cooling systems. So they check the energy consumption of these electrical machines, as well as water heating, ventilation, lights and appliances, and other electrical components of the house. And then finally, we also perform an air tightness test. It's called a blower door test to really figure out how many leaks are in the house and what the heat loss actually is. So this looks like a mechanical system that is a metal frame that goes onto your front door. And it has a motorized fan with a pressure gauge attached to a computer system. So the fan will turn on, it'll depressurize the home, and it more or less, if you can picture a big fan sucking all the air out from inside the home. And then you are actually able to walk around with your advisor and really just feel with the back of your hands to see where the air leakages are happening. Of course, our advisors have been doing this for many years, so they know exactly where to, check for these air leakages. The biggest culprits are usually things like old doors, windows, attics, the foundation. It really could be anything depending on the home. Something that I was surprised about was that even electrical outlets are a huge loss of heat. They are just super leaky for most homes. So that's one of the main benefits of getting an energy evaluation done, is you could really go around the house, like I said, and see where these leaks are happening. And that really is the first sort of step that you should be looking at when trying to conserve the energy in the house, right? You're not going to get newer windows or newer doors if there's a bunch of cracks in the foundation or there's no insulation in your attic, because these, although nice and expensive and showy and new, they're not going to give you those energy savings that you want because you have such a leaky home. So finding those drafts are really the first step before you start looking at anything else in the house. So after the energy evaluation, the advisor will give you an EnerGuide rating for the house, and you'll also receive an EnerGuide recommendation upgrade report, which is essentially a roadmap with prioritized recommendations to help you make decisions about doing retrofits. So as you can see there, it's an example roadmap. So it'll show you the biggest culprits for energy leakage, whether that is those air leaks or it is just your furnace or your foundation. And then show you how much you would save if you did one of those measures, did two of those measures, or did all the measures. So it's really cool that way, that you can actually put dollars and cents into the energy consumption, depending on what gas or electricity costs today, to see what those upgrades will actually be saving you. And through the program that we're working, the Home Efficiency Rebate Plus, you will need to have 2 energy evaluations done, one before and one after you implement at least one of those measures found in the recommendations upgrade report by your advisor. And we really do this to not only save and reduce the impact on your environment, but really to save you those dollars at the end of the month on energy. And then it gives you that pathway to energy conservation rebates that are available for the audits themselves, as well as the upgrades that you make. And I highly encourage you to go and check out this case study that we have on our website there. Really breaks down what the report looks like. These are really, a lot of data heavy reporting. So really understanding what managing heat loss looks like, how to reduce heat transfer, learn a little bit about, I want to call it advanced technology, but heat pumps have been around for a very, very long time. They are just getting better now, but it does help you learn a little bit more about those as well. And then it helps you forecast into the future to see the cost of that investment that you'll be making to conserve energy. If somebody's living in a house for the next 20 years, somebody's buying a house for the foreseeable future, they're going to want to know, if they invest in a heat pump today, what that will look like in 15 years. And across the board, these clients of ours are saving dollars in the long run for energy costs. So that's a really cool thing that is included there. And then it, of course, shows you like a before and after analysis of heat loss and energy use in the house, and very insightful tips by our registered energy advisors. I will say that at Green Venture and Reep, our energy advisors go through a very intensive training. It's about 2 weeks, one in class, one in the field with a mentor. And that's where they sort of learn everything. And maybe compared to other organizations, Green Venture, our advisors don't use any software to collect data in the home or to input it into the modeling software. They do everything by hand, so everything is a very specific to your house, very analytical, and that's why we pride ourselves on providing that expert advice to all of our clients. And then lastly, just for a little bit of background as well, so in Canada, over 1 million Canadians have received received energy audits or energy assessments. And given that 75% of homes will still be standing in 2050, and considering, you know, Ontario and Canada's energy targets, all of these homes are going to have to be retrofitted to maximize their energy efficiency. So chances are you're selling a home or you're working with a home that will need these upgrades. And it's about that communication to your clients as well. And, you know, chances are that you will be encountering one of these homes. So you and your clients really do matter to our city's future. And so, yeah, right now the incentives are 10,600 on average, well, up to 10,600, and it is the biggest incentive cap there's ever been in Ontario. Although gas equipment and rebates are completely gone, so no natural gas burning furnaces, boilers, or hot water heaters, there is a movement towards electrifying, right? Electrifying your heat pumps, getting electric water heaters, that sort of thing. Also, you know, more rebates that we've seen before for solar panels, and other resiliency measures as well. And now, like I mentioned earlier, it is co-delivered between Enbridge Gas and the federal government. And it really is just the nature of the way things are going. Natural gas prices, as we all know, are going to be increasing and eventually becoming much more than electricity prices. So it is really a good time to jump in and use these incentives and, you know, find out more about your house and be able to provide that information to clients as well. And if you ever have clients that did already participate in this program in the past or prior to 2023, I should say, they can totally jump back in, as there's another $5,000 available for them to potentially be benefiting from. And so in terms of steps, how does the program work? It really is this simple. You call us, get an energy assessment scheduled. Do not begin any renovations before then. Do that energy assessment. It takes about 2 hours. And then within about a week or two of that assessment, your clients will get a recommended upgrade report as well as an EnerGuide label for the house. They will walk through that. Our advisors are more than happy to walk through these reports with your clients as well. You know, we do work with energy advisors that have that same mission to lower greenhouse gases and energy bills for our clients. So completing at least one of those eligible upgrades in order to qualify for the program is mandatory. Once that's completed, you'll have till 2027 to schedule a follow-up home energy assessment with either, you know, ideally the same energy advisor and company, but getting that second assessment done. And then within approximately 90 days of that, the client will receive a check in the mail. So that again is 600 for audits and then up to 10,000 for the actual work itself. And then I'll hand it over to Sydney, where she'll explain a little bit more about the actual rebates that are available.
Thank you, Moses. So as Moses mentioned, I'll be walking you through all of the different upgrade types that are eligible for rebate programs, for rebates through the Home Efficiency Rebate Plus program. But before we dive in, I did just want to note that the numbers you'll see here for the rebates are examples of what would be available for an Enbridge customer who's using natural gas for space heating. So these amounts would include rebates sponsored by both the federal government and Enbridge Gas. But homes that are heated with oil, propane, electric heating, or a natural gas utility other than Enbridge can still be eligible for rebates. They'd just be slightly lower amounts. And I will put a link in the chat to more detailed information on the rebate amounts and the requirements through the Enbridge website in case anyone would like to check that out. So tonight we're going to start with insulation incentives, which are some of our top recommended priorities for homeowners. Insulation has an essential role to play in meeting those climate action targets that both Lisa and Moses described earlier. And adding insulation to our homes can save us energy by keeping the heat in during the winter and can lower the heating load or the heating demand of our home so that we need smaller heating and cooling systems that use less energy. And one of the more popular choices that we've been seeing lately is attic insulation, where homeowners can get up to $2,350 back for increasing their attic or cathedral ceiling insulation. And the attic insulation rebate is based off of the R value you are starting with. So the lower the beginning R value, the more opportunity for improvement and the higher rebate that would be available. Rebates up to $6,750 are available for exterior wall insulation. And this can be done from the interior of the home or added to the exterior, which can be a popular option when homeowners are planning to replace their siding. Rebates are also available for foundation insulation, and both the wall and foundation insulation, for both wall and foundation insulation, the rebate amounts are based on the R value that is added. So the greater R value added, the better it will do at insulating, so the homeowner is eligible for a higher rebate amount. Some other insulation categories that are available include exposed floors. So you could think of that as if you had a garage with a living space above it, then that garage ceiling or that floor would be considered an exposed floor, as well as basement slabs and headers. And you can learn more about those on the Home Efficiency Rebate Plus website from the chat link as well. Next up, we have windows, doors, and air sealing. So for windows and sliding glass doors or patio doors, we have two different rebate amounts based on the efficiency ratings. So $325 is available per rough opening for the most efficient Energy Star models that have the highest energy ratings, whereas $175 is available per rough opening for standard Energy Star certified models. And by per rough opening, what I mean is simply that whether it's a small basement window or a large bay window that's built of several different units, it would be eligible for the same rebate amount. And then hinge doors or exterior doors just have one flat rate of $175 per rough opening for Energy Star certified models. Rebates are also available for air sealing when the homeowner meets their air tightness target. And Moses had talked about this when he was explaining the process of the energy evaluation, where they do the air tightness test or the blower door test, where they depressurize your home. So they'll measure the air tightness of the home at the pre-renovation assessment before any upgrades have been completed. And then they'll compare that to the test results post-renovation to determine if that target has been met. And usually we find that it's met when the homeowner is doing several building envelope improvements like windows, insulation, and other draft proofing work. Now, Moses also mentioned that there are no longer rebates available for natural gas equipment, so furnaces, boilers, water heaters, but there are rebates available for heat pumps for both space and water heating. And because they work by transferring heat from one place to another, rather than using energy directly to generate heat like your gas furnace or electric baseboard system would, they can be a highly efficient option for both heating and cooling in the home. And they're becoming a lot more popular. So for example, in Waterloo region, since the federal incentive program started, over 30% of the homeowners we've seen go through the rebate program had a heat pump installed as one of the upgrades to their home. And it can be particularly attractive when the homeowner is looking to replace both the furnace and the air conditioner, as the heat pumps offers both that heating and cooling function. It can also be popular when the homeowner is starting with oil or propane, since they have a big opportunity to save money on their heating costs. And as Moses explained, with the expected increase in natural gas prices, we're expecting there will become more savings in the future for natural gas customers as well. So those options include Energy Star certified air source heat pumps, as well as cold climate air source heat pump systems that are designed to work at lower temperatures, as well as geothermal or ground source heat pumps, which tend to be more popular in rural areas where homeowners have more land to install these kinds of systems. And a $1,300 rebate is also available for heat pump water heaters. And these work similar to space heating air source heat pumps, as they transfer heat from the surrounding area to heat your water. Solar panels have been another popular option for this grant. with rebates up to $5,000 from the federal government for owner-occupied homes. And this can be a great addition to the home to get it closer to net zero when a homeowner has already completed lots of building envelope improvements and fuel switching. And a few of the upgrades I've mentioned so far need to be on an approved product list to qualify for rebates. So this includes things like windows, doors, and heat pumps for space and water heating. You can learn more about the product eligibility on the NRCan website, but it's always a good idea to triple check that whether it's windows, doors, or a heat pump, that it is on that eligible product list to be eligible for a grant. Finally, just a few more incentives to share. So there are rebates up to $125 that are available for replacing manual thermostats with smart or programmable thermostats. And there are also several resiliency measures eligible for rebates for owner-occupied homes again, including batteries that are connected to solar systems, foundation waterproofing, crawl space moisture proofing, and installing a membrane underlay when replacing a roof. Homeowners can also receive a rebate of $600 towards the evaluation costs once they finish the program. Now, I know that was a lot of information, but I'll just remind you that you can find all of this summarized on the Enbridge website, and I believe we'll be sending you a copy of the presentation after as well. So you'll have the chance to review all of this information again. And now I believe I'm handing it back over to Moses.
Awesome. Thank you, Sydney. Yeah, so these are just some other resources that we wanted to leave with you here. The latter half to really familiarize yourself with home energy efficiency language, and how you can guide any prospective clients to participate in the program. And then there also is that resource there for the up to $40,000 interest-free loan for energy conservation upgrades as well. That is included as part of the rebate program. So you do still need to have those 2 energy evaluations done to be eligible for that. But really exciting stuff. You know, you can participate over the next few years using this loan. It is repayable for 10 years. So that is available as well. And then Lisa or Sydney, I don't know if you wanted to highlight any more resources, but we will leave this as a takeaway as well.
I hope this information so far is useful for you all. So in order for us to meet our climate action goals, local service organizations like ourselves and contractors and realtors, we really need to work closely together to make this happen. So we have found that word of mouth is the most trusted form of marketing and the strongest tool to spreading the word about these programs in our communities. And like Moses says, like after initial home energy evaluation, we do provide a list. We do provide a list of contractors as a starting point for homeowners to call and to get 3 quotes of their home, and coming and sending and being able to be part of our contractors list. You'll understand the latest programs, initiatives, approved product lists, if there's any updates from NRCan, and just be part of a community and be part of a solution. So if you are interested, I will add a link to the chat. And if you are serving Hamilton area, Green Venture is creating a contractors list in a client open forum. And the best way to be in the loop is joining our mailing list. So just signing up to our mailing list to stay updated to all our ongoing initiative and products and services and current workshops. And feel free to promote them through your network. And just to end it, thank you so much for attending, putting yourself and your client first, and learning how to shift our community to a resilient, low carbon future. And if you want to learn more about our Home Energy program, I'll post our website link and emails in the chat for you all.